What if I told you that the world's most valuable treasure could soon disappear beneath the ocean floor? Not stolen. Not lost. Hidden by governments themselves. For centuries, nations protected their gold in massive underground vaults. Hidden beneath mountains, banks, and military facilities, these reserves symbolized economic power. But now, a strange new idea is emerging. What if the safest place on Earth is not on land at all? What if the future of national wealth lies deep beneath the ocean? Across the world, governments face growing concerns. Cyber warfare, drone attacks, missile threats, and geopolitical instability have changed the definition of security. Traditional vaults may no longer provide the protection they once promised. As technology evolves, nations search for stronger defenses against future risks. Far below the surface, the deep ocean offers something unique: extreme pressure, isolation, natural protection. At depths exceeding 5,000 meters, human access becomes incredibly difficult. Some engineers believe these conditions could transform the ocean floor into the ultimate high-security storage zone. The concept sounds like science fiction. Giant pressure-resistant vaults anchored to the seabed. Artificial intelligence monitoring every movement. Autonomous submarines guarding strategic locations. Yet many technologies required for such systems already exist today, raising fascinating questions about the future of national security. Gold remains one of humanity's most valuable assets. Central banks collectively hold thousands of tons of it. During times of crisis, these reserves help stabilize currencies and financial systems. Protecting them has always been a national priority, and the stakes continue to rise. But why the deep ocean? The answer begins with geography. Land-based vaults have fixed locations that can be monitored, mapped, and potentially targeted. Deep-sea facilities, however, could be hidden across vast underwater regions where detection becomes far more difficult and expensive. At depths of 5,000 meters, pressure exceeds 500 times the pressure at sea level. Most submarines cannot survive there. Human divers cannot reach those depths. Nature itself becomes a powerful security system that protects anything placed on the ocean floor. Modern vaults rely on walls, guards, and surveillance cameras. Future underwater vaults could rely on advanced sensors, sonar networks, artificial intelligence, and autonomous underwater vehicles that patrol the surrounding area 24 hours a day without human intervention. One of the greatest threats facing modern governments is geopolitical conflict. During war, critical infrastructure can become a target. Deep-sea vaults may provide an additional layer of protection by placing national assets far beyond traditional military battlefields. Some experts compare the idea to nuclear bunkers built during the Cold War. Back then, nations constructed secret facilities underground. Today, the ocean floor could represent a new generation of strategic protection designed for an increasingly uncertain world. Building such facilities would not be easy. Engineers would need to design structures capable of resisting extreme pressure, corrosion, earthquakes, and decades of exposure to one of the harshest environments on Earth. Titanium alloys, advanced composites, and pressure-resistant materials could become essential components. Similar technologies are already used in deep-sea exploration vehicles that regularly descend into some of the deepest trenches on Earth. Energy would also be critical. An underwater vault would require reliable power systems for security, communication, environmental monitoring, and maintenance. Engineers are exploring solutions ranging from underwater cables to advanced long-duration energy systems. Communication presents another challenge. Radio signals do not travel effectively through deep water. Future facilities may depend on fiber optic networks, acoustic communication systems, and specialized relay stations positioned throughout the ocean. Yet, despite these challenges, interest in underwater infrastructure continues to grow. Around the world, researchers are already testing deep ocean technologies that could eventually support facilities once thought impossible. The question is no longer whether it can be done. The question is when. If governments decided to move gold beneath the ocean, the first challenge would be transportation. Moving thousands of tons of precious metal across the sea would require some of the most secure logistics operations ever attempted. Every movement would need to remain secret and heavily protected. Specialized heavy-lift submarines could become the key. Unlike traditional submarines designed for warfare, these vessels would be engineered to transport enormous, cargo safely into the deepest parts of the ocean while avoiding detection. Upon arrival, robotic construction systems might take over. Human divers cannot operate at such depths, so autonomous underwater machines would assemble and maintain the vault structures entirely on their own. Upon arrival, robotic construction systems might take over. Human divers cannot operate at such depths, so autonomous underwater machines would assemble and maintain the vault structures entirely on their own. Every gold bar entering the facility could be tracked through advanced digital systems. Artificial intelligence would monitor inventory continuously, instantly detecting any irregular movement or unauthorized access attempt. Imagine a thief somehow discovering the vault's location. Reaching it would be an entirely different challenge. Extreme pressure, freezing temperatures, and complete darkness would make any unauthorized mission incredibly dangerous. Even advanced submarines face serious limitations at extreme depths. A small equipment failure could result in catastrophic consequences. The ocean itself becomes a nearly impenetrable defensive barrier protecting whatever lies below. Security systems could extend for kilometers around the facility. Sonar arrays, underwater drones, motion sensors, and AI-driven surveillance networks would constantly scan the surrounding waters for any unusual activity. Some analysts believe remote locations in the Pacific Ocean could offer ideal conditions. Vast distances, extreme depths, and limited human activity make certain regions among the most isolated places on Earth. Others point toward deep trenches such as the Mariana Trench. These locations offer extraordinary natural protection, though engineering challenges increase dramatically as depth and pressure continue to rise. Yet a critical question remains. If nations hide their gold beneath the sea, who controls access? Who verifies the reserves? And how can the world trust assets stored in places almost no one can visit? The deeper we explore this idea, the more complex it becomes. Managing an underwater gold reserve would require more than strong walls. Artificial intelligence could oversee every operation, from monitoring structural integrity to tracking inventory. Millions of data points would be analyzed every second to identify potential threats before they become serious problems. Cybersecurity would become just as important as physical security. A vault protected from thieves and missiles could still face attacks from hackers attempting to disrupt communications, manipulate records, or interfere with automated systems. To counter these risks, future facilities might operate on isolated networks disconnected from the public internet. Multiple backup systems and encrypted communication channels could ensure that critical functions remain secure even during global cyber conflicts. But technology is not the only concern. Nature itself can be unpredictable. Deep beneath the ocean, powerful geological forces constantly reshape the seafloor through earthquakes, volcanic activity, and tectonic movement. An underwater earthquake could damage infrastructure, communication lines, or support systems. Engineers would need to design facilities capable of surviving powerful seismic events that occur thousands of meters beneath the surface. Volcanic activity presents another challenge. Across the ocean floor, thousands of underwater volcanoes remain active. Selecting a safe location would require decades of geological research and continuous monitoring. Some scientists believe future vaults could actually benefit from stable geological regions far from active fault lines. These locations may offer security not only from human threats but also from many natural disasters. Then comes a legal question: who owns the deep ocean floor? International waters cover vast regions beyond national borders. Building strategic facilities in these areas could trigger debates involving sovereignty, economics, and international law. The United Nations and international maritime agreements currently regulate many activities in international waters. Future underwater vault projects may require entirely new legal frameworks to address ownership, responsibility, and security concerns. As technology advances, the line between science fiction and reality continues to blur. What once seemed impossible now appears technically achievable. The real challenge may not be engineering. It may be convincing the world that such a system can be trusted. Some experts believe governments may already be testing technologies related to deep-sea strategic storage. While no public evidence confirms underwater gold vaults, SECRET research programs focused on ocean infrastructure continue to expand around the world. Imagine an underwater fortress larger than a modern military base. Protected by autonomous systems, reinforced structures, and layers of digital security, it could operate continuously for decades with minimal human presence. Military forces could play a major role in protecting such facilities. Naval fleets, surveillance satellites, and underwater monitoring systems might work together to create one of the most secure defense networks ever constructed. Autonomous underwater drones may become the first line of defense. These intelligent machines could patrol vast areas, identify threats, and communicate instantly with command centers thousands of kilometers away. Unlike human guards, autonomous systems never sleep. Day and night, year after year, they could continuously monitor every approach route, creating a security perimeter impossible to maintain through traditional methods. But what if a nation suddenly needed access to its reserves? During financial emergencies or global crises, retrieving gold from the depths of the ocean would require carefully planned recovery operations. Heavy lift recovery submarines could transport precious cargo back to the surface. Every stage of the mission would involve strict security protocols, designed to protect national assets from both physical and digital threats. Now imagine a global conflict. If major financial centers were threatened, underwater reserves might serve as a strategic backup, ensuring that critical national wealth remains protected even during extreme instability. Throughout history, nations have hidden valuable assets during times of war. Castles, bunkers, mountains, and underground vaults have all served this purpose. The deep ocean may simply be the next chapter in that long story. As climate change, geopolitical tensions, and technological threats continue to evolve, governments are constantly rethinking security strategies. The idea of protecting gold beneath the sea may sound extraordinary today, but so did many technologies that are now part of everyday life. Today, the world's largest gold reserves are controlled by central banks. Countries such as the United States, Germany, Italy, France, and China collectively hold thousands of tons of gold. These reserves act as financial insurance during economic uncertainty and help maintain confidence in national currencies. Gold has survived every major financial crisis in modern history. Unlike paper currencies, gold cannot be printed or created by governments. This unique characteristic is one reason why nations continue to accumulate gold even in an increasingly digital financial world. In recent years, central banks around the world have increased their gold purchases. Economic uncertainty, inflation concerns, and geopolitical tensions have encouraged governments to strengthen their reserves. Many analysts see this trend as preparation for future financial instability. If underwater vaults become reality, they could represent one of the largest infrastructure projects ever attempted. Engineers would need to design facilities capable of surviving decades beneath the ocean while protecting assets worth hundreds of billions of dollars. The cost of building a deep-sea fortress would be enormous. Specialized submarines, robotic maintenance systems, communication networks, and advanced security technologies would require investments far beyond traditional vault construction. Yet for some governments, cost may not be the most important factor. If a facility can significantly reduce the risk of theft, sabotage, war, or political instability, the investment could be viewed as a long-term national security asset. The concept also raises another fascinating question. If nations can store wealth beneath the ocean, could private organizations eventually do the same? Future corporations and billionaires may seek their own ultra-secure storage facilities hidden far from public view. Throughout history, the wealthy have constantly searched for safer ways to protect their assets. From castles to private islands and underground bunkers, security has always evolved alongside new threats. The ocean may simply become the next frontier. As competition between nations grows, strategic infrastructure could become increasingly important. Countries investing in advanced ocean technology today may gain advantages in security, logistics, and resource management tomorrow. A new race may already be beginning beneath the waves. Not a race for territory alone, but a race for security, resilience, and control over the future of national wealth. The ocean floor could become one of the most valuable strategic regions on Earth. If deep-sea gold vaults are ever built, they may become symbols of a new era in global security. Just as medieval kingdoms built massive castles to protect their wealth, modern nations may look beneath the ocean for the next generation of protection. The location may change, but the goal remains the same: survival during uncertainty. History has shown that financial systems can change rapidly, Empires rise and fall, currencies gain and lose value, and markets experience unexpected shocks. Gold has remained valuable through all of these transformations, making its protection a matter of strategic importance. Some economists believe future financial crises could be more complex than anything seen before. Cyber warfare, artificial intelligence, digital currencies, and global interconnected markets may create risks that traditional security systems were never designed to handle. In such a world, governments may seek multiple layers of protection: physical vaults, digital backups, international agreements, and perhaps even deep-sea storage facilities could work together to safeguard national assets against a wide range of threats. The ocean covers more than 70% of our planet, yet much of it remains unexplored. Ironically, some of the least understood places on Earth may one day become home to some of the world's most valuable treasures. Researchers continue to discover new ecosystems, geological formations, and resources in the deep ocean. Every expedition reveals how little humanity truly knows about these remote environments. Future infrastructure projects will depend on expanding this knowledge even further. One challenge often overlooked is maintenance. Even the strongest vault requires inspections, repairs, and upgrades. Future underwater facilities would rely heavily on robotic systems, capable of performing complex tasks in complete darkness and crushing pressure. Artificial intelligence may become the invisible guardian of these facilities, constantly learning, adapting, and monitoring operations. Advanced AI systems could detect unusual activity long before human operators become aware of a problem. Yet every technological solution introduces new questions. Who controls the AI? Who audits the systems? And how can governments ensure that automated security remains reliable for decades without creating new vulnerabilities? The deeper we examine this concept, the more it becomes clear that underwater gold vaults are about far more than gold itself. They represent a larger conversation about trust, security, technology, and humanity's effort to protect what it values most in an uncertain future. Imagine a future where a nation's most valuable gold reserve is hidden beneath kilometers of ocean water. Its exact location is known only to a handful of officials, protected by encrypted systems and advanced security networks. For decades, the vault remains untouched, silently resting in the darkness while the world above continues to change. But secrets of that magnitude rarely remain hidden forever. As technology advances, rival nations may begin searching for these hidden facilities. Powerful satellites, deep-sea drones, and artificial intelligence could scan vast regions of the ocean looking for unusual activity. What begins as a security project could eventually trigger a new kind of underwater intelligence race, unlike anything seen before. History is filled with examples of espionage changing the course of nations. In the future, intelligence agencies may deploy highly advanced underwater vehicles capable of silently approaching restricted areas. Their mission would not be to steal gold, but to gather information about what lies hidden beneath the waves. The discovery of a secret vault could create international tension. Governments may accuse one another of violating maritime agreements or conducting unauthorized surveillance missions. A single deep-sea incident could quickly escalate into a major geopolitical dispute involving some of the world's most powerful nations. To prevent such threats, future vaults might be surrounded by autonomous defense systems operating around the clock. Intelligent underwater drones could patrol vast security zones, identifying unknown objects long before they approach sensitive infrastructure. The ocean itself could become a heavily monitored strategic battlefield. But what happens if an enemy nation manages to locate the facility? Recovering gold from extreme depths would still be nearly impossible. The real objective might be sabotage damaging communication systems, disrupting operations, or creating uncertainty about the safety of the reserves stored below. Future conflicts may not be fought only on land, in the air, or in space. Security experts increasingly discuss the strategic importance of underwater infrastructure. From internet cables to energy systems and potential vaults, the ocean floor may become one of the most valuable and contested environments on Earth. Maintaining secrecy would require extraordinary measures. Supply missions could operate under strict confidentiality, while maintenance robots perform most tasks without attracting attention. Even the crews involved may know only a small part of the larger operation, ensuring that critical information remains protected. If constructed, such a facility could become the most expensive vault ever built in human history. The cost would include advanced engineering, military-grade protection, artificial intelligence systems, logistics networks, and decades of maintenance in one of the harshest environments on the planet. Eventually, news of the project could reach the public. Some people would see it as a brilliant innovation capable of protecting national wealth. Others would question the enormous costs, environmental impact, and transparency of storing valuable assets in places few humans can ever access. The debate could reshape the future of global security itself. If governments announced the construction of underwater gold vaults tomorrow, public reaction would likely be divided. Supporters would argue that protecting national wealth is essential in an unpredictable world filled with cyber threats, geopolitical conflicts, and economic instability. Critics, however, would question whether such massive investments could be better spent on healthcare, education, infrastructure, or scientific research. The debate would quickly spread across the globe. Environmental organizations would immediately raise concerns about the impact on deep-sea ecosystems. Although the ocean floor appears empty in many places, scientists continue discovering new species and fragile habitats hidden within the darkness. Any large construction project would need to prove that it could operate without causing irreversible damage to these unique environments. The challenge becomes even greater because much of the deep ocean remains unexplored. Experts estimate that humanity has mapped only a fraction of the seafloor in high detail. Building strategic infrastructure in such unknown territory would require years of scientific surveys, environmental assessments, and international cooperation before construction could even begin. Future vault designers may attempt to minimize environmental impact through advanced engineering solutions. Floating support systems, low-noise robotics, and carefully selected construction zones could reduce disturbances to marine life. The goal would be to create facilities that remain almost invisible to the surrounding ecosystem while maintaining maximum security. As technology evolves, a single vault may not be enough. Governments could eventually build networks of underwater storage facilities connected by secure communication systems. Instead of concentrating all assets in one location, reserves could be distributed across multiple sites, making them even more difficult to target or disrupt. Artificial intelligence would likely coordinate these networks with extraordinary precision. Advanced systems could monitor security, maintenance, logistics, and environmental conditions simultaneously. Decisions that currently require large teams of specialists might one day be handled by intelligent systems operating continuously beneath the sea. At the same time, the world is moving toward digital finance. Central bank digital currencies, blockchain technologies, and electronic payment systems continue expanding. This raises an important question. If wealth becomes increasingly digital, will physical gold remain as important in the future as it is today? Many economists believe the answer is yes. Gold possesses qualities that digital assets cannot fully replace. It exists independently of computer networks, software systems, and internet connectivity. During periods of uncertainty, that physical reality continues to make gold one of the most trusted stores of value in human history. Looking toward the year 2100, the concept of underwater fortresses may no longer seem unusual. Future generations could view ocean-based infrastructure the same way modern society views airports, satellites, or data centers today. What appears revolutionary now may eventually become part of everyday global security systems. The story of underwater gold vaults is ultimately a story about adaptation. As risks evolve, nations adapt. As technology advances, security evolves. And as humanity pushes into new frontiers, even the darkest depths of the ocean may become part of our effort to protect the resources that shape civilization itself. Now imagine the most extreme scenario imaginable. A global crisis has disrupted financial markets, international trade has slowed, and confidence in major currencies is collapsing. Governments scramble to protect their reserves while investors search for safe assets. In such a world, a secure underwater vault could become one of the most valuable strategic assets ever created. But no security system is perfect. Even the most advanced ocean fortress could face unexpected challenges. Technical failures, communication disruptions, natural disasters, or human mistakes could threaten operations. History repeatedly reminds us that complexity often creates vulnerabilities where we least expect them. Another concern involves artificial intelligence itself. Future vaults may depend heavily on automated decision-making systems. If these systems malfunction, are manipulated, or become too complex for humans to fully understand, entirely new categories of security risks could emerge beneath the ocean. Military planners often prepare for worst-case scenarios. During a large-scale international conflict, underwater infrastructure could become a critical target. Protecting strategic assets hidden beneath the sea may require naval forces, satellites, cyber defenses, and autonomous security networks working together simultaneously. Yet beyond all these security concerns lies a deeper mystery. Humanity still knows remarkably little about the deep ocean. Vast regions remain unexplored, unmapped, and largely invisible to the world above. The same darkness that provides protection also conceals countless unknowns. Some scientists compare our understanding of the deep ocean to humanity's understanding of space centuries ago. Every expedition reveals new discoveries, strange ecosystems, and unexpected geological formations. The future of ocean infrastructure may depend on solving mysteries that have remained hidden for millions of years. Looking centuries ahead, the role of gold itself may continue to evolve. New technologies, digital economies, and changing financial systems could transform how societies define value. Yet throughout history, gold has repeatedly adapted to changing times while maintaining its importance. By the year 2200, future generations may view underwater vaults as a normal part of global infrastructure. Just as modern society depends on satellites, internet cables, and power grids, tomorrow's world may rely on secure ocean-based facilities operating silently beneath the waves. The idea of hiding gold beneath the ocean is not simply about wealth. It reflects humanity's constant effort to adapt, innovate, and prepare for uncertainty. Every generation faces new challenges, and every generation develops new solutions to protect what matters most. As we stand on the edge of a new technological era, the deep ocean remains one of Earth's final frontiers. Whether underwater gold vaults become reality or remain an ambitious concept, they reveal something fascinating about humanity's future, a future increasingly shaped by technology, security, and exploration. After exploring the technology, the economics, the security challenges, and the mysteries of the deep ocean, one question remains. Will governments actually move their gold reserves beneath the sea? The truth is that no nation has publicly built such a facility today. Yet many of the technologies required already exist, and history has shown that ambitious ideas often become reality faster than anyone expects. Throughout history, humanity has constantly searched for safer ways to protect wealth. From ancient temples and royal treasuries to underground bunkers and digital financial systems, every era developed its own solution. Underwater vaults may simply represent the next step in that long evolution of security and survival. Perhaps the most fascinating aspect of this concept is what it reveals about humanity itself. We build stronger defenses because we fear uncertainty. We explore deeper frontiers because we seek new opportunities. And we create extraordinary technologies because we constantly prepare for challenges that may not even exist yet. Far beneath the waves, hidden in darkness that few humans will ever witness, future generations may construct facilities beyond anything we can fully imagine today. Whether those structures store gold, data, energy, or something entirely different, the deep ocean could become one of the most important frontiers of the 21st century and beyond. For now, underwater gold vaults remain a fascinating possibility rather than a confirmed reality. But they force us to think about the future in a different way. As technology advances and the world becomes increasingly complex, the deepest parts of our planet may play a greater role in protecting what humanity values most. The next great fortress may not rise above the ground. It may rest silently beneath the ocean floor. If you enjoyed this journey into the future of global security, don't forget to subscribe and join us for more incredible discoveries. Because sometimes, the biggest secrets on Earth are hidden where almost no one thinks to look. Thank you for watching. The ocean still holds countless secrets. Subscribe for more documentary adventures. Discovery 360, exploring the unknown. Next documentary coming soon.